Welcome, everybody. I'm excited today for today's conversation. I am joined by Tony Botone. He is the founder and CEO of Creative Tone Media. They're a performance-focused ad agency helping brands grow their revenue with media buying. Tony and his team specialize in meta ads, creative testing, and audience scaling strategies that drive results. So, Tony, welcome to Scope Shift.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you being here today. And Tony, you've been running Creative Tone Media for a few years now. The momentum is really picking up. What's changed the most for you since you started the agency?
Honestly, I tell this to people, everyone I work with. When I first started this, I was planning on being a social media manager for just a handful of businesses. It probably took 2 months to realize that's very hard to show a lot of value in. It's also going to really limit the amount of people I can work with. So that's when I decided to go the creative and media buying side of Facebook. I've started moving down the funnel with, building funnels, building landing pages, websites, setting up some text automations. I can keep going until I hand it off to the client.
Yeah, I love that. That's how you really do show your value, right? Like being like, oh, I'll post for you 3 times a week doesn't hit the same as I'll bring you a new
No.
customer.
Yep,
So
exactly. It's very tough to prove that.
it looks
It's important, but it's tough.
you got to get that exposure to get them
hmm
into the funnel, right? To turn them into customers. So it's got to happen. But yeah, you got to show the value too. You hit on
Yeah.
something there that was really important. It looks like you're working with both direct to consumer brands and lead gen brands. Was that the original plan, or was that something that just kind of evolved over time?
Yeah, honestly, if I had to say there was an original plan, I'd be lying. I was kind of just going to work with anybody who was going to work with me. At the moment, I just needed to find a first client. A lot of my clients are local lead gen clients or local events, like in-person events, boat shows, bridal shows. I have a lot of clients where that's the case. Those are fun to market, but they're more like annual retainers opposed to like a monthly retainer
Right.
as far as like what that looks like. But then, yeah, I have come across some software, e-commerce, and coaching offers. But yeah, honestly, majority are lead gen events.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's actually very interesting because I don't really listen to the radio too much anymore, like most
Mhm.
people, I would say. But I mean, local events used to be promoted so heavily on the radio, and with no one listening anymore, it makes sense they would come to you and turn to social media to get that promoted.
Yeah, funny enough, I'm actually the building I'm in right now is a what I refer to as more traditional, but they do radio, print, and TV. I'm bolted on to do social media and content. So
Oh,
now, and if anytime they need production, anytime their clients need social media, which everybody's kind of moving that way, I'm kind of there as the upsell.
oh, that's great. So you handle the new media side of the business. And
Yep.
you have the
Yeah.
Oh,
That's pretty much how I guess got my start was just strictly all referral based.
okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And when you get one of these new clients, I know you do a great job of scaling their campaigns, helping them grow their revenue through meta advertising. Is there a place where you hit the limits, like saturated the audience too much, or performance fatigue? Do you hit plateaus, then you have to tweak things to get over them? Or are you able to set them and grow them slowly over time?
Yeah, honestly, with a lot of my clients, I'm the first person who's like, I guess I should say, I'm running their first campaign they've ever ran on Facebook for most of my clients. Like
Okay.
I'm dealing with clients that have never been on the platform before, don't have a huge audience, very small accounts. They've just been growing organically, I guess. But it's not uncommon for me to come across an ad account that has, 100 followers and they've been in business for 40 years, running off referrals, but looking to go a different way because they see the business down the road who's running Facebook ads, running Google ads, bringing in new clientele, and they just opened up. So they come to someone like me where, we're setting up lead gen campaigns, but I think a lot of it is like making sure when somebody clicks through and goes to their profile that they don't look like they just have been posting Canva templates for the last, couple months. Honestly, every business I come to, it's not because they think that's good enough. That's just all they can do. They've been operating for 40 years one specific way. And then there's this new media, Facebook ads or Google ads. What are you going to do? Just learn this new platform? Before it was we want to run a TV commercial, get it produced, handle it, and that's it. Now we can run a retargeting campaign, certain offers to certain people at certain times. We have to have a landing page. We have to have our website as well. I mean, some type of follow-up process, some type of sales process. And so kind of, I guess, what I'm realizing now, similar to what I realized before, was running lead gen is one thing and getting them the actual context. But I'm moving into how can I get it even closer to the sale with then handing it off, which honestly this weekend was a funny weekend because I went really deep into AI appointment setting and looking for softwares there. A service I can offer because obviously I'm not calling everyone's leads.
Right.
But so like that's kind of a fun thing to get into as well. But yeah, just how close can I get the person to a booked meeting? Can I get them through their doors and that's like the handoff? Or is it just like, here's their phone number and email? Some people prefer it that way and some people prefer another way. I kind of went off on a tangent there, but that's
No, I think you hit on something really, really important. I think it was might have been Marcus Sheridan. I don't know if you're familiar with him. The Sales Lion. That used to be the name of his company. I'm not even sure if that's still the name of his company. Big into content marketing. He was a sales guy before he got into content marketing. And he does say that marketing now is actually 80% of what sales used to do. If marketing can get closer to that hand, it really
yeah.
is all you got to, you give it to the sales guy and all he really does is close. I mean, that's it. You've done all the warming up, all the education. There's tremendous value in that for clients. You see a lot of marketing and sales misalignment out there where I know I've run into it. I'm guessing you have too, where you're sending leads, but you don't take them all the way down the funnel. You're kind of relying on your client to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, what's wrong with these leads? And it's like, there's nothing wrong. It took you 3 days to even reach back out.
You are preaching to me. That's exactly what I run into with a lot of my clients. It'd be really easy for me to just be like, you guys didn't do the right thing.
Right.
And I think I would be doing a disservice to my business as a whole and then their business too if I wasn't like, now there's something we can do. If I can implement an AI appointment setter into your business and we just turn this whole thing around because it's you and your son running the shop, and who's gonna text these people? They don't have the time. I can make my system more valuable to them,
Yep.
getting more referrals. It's gonna help out everybody. It's just kind of me just swallowing my pride and being like, all right, we have to figure something out that's going to work on this end. That's business as a whole, problem solving, honestly.
100%. They come to you
Yeah.
with a problem or you discover a problem and then you're like, I can solve this for you. And that's how you grow for sure.
Yep. And it just so happens I love finding new software. So that works out for me.
Is there any specific software you found recently you want to share a problem?
Yeah. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Jordan Platten. He's an agency guy out of the UK. I bought his program a couple months ago. He has this AI appointment setting software called AppointWise. Do you work with Go High Level?
I do.
Integrates directly into Go High Level. And I implemented it and everything. And like, the weekend, I spent this past weekend doing it. And I'm hoping to roll it out this week with that podcast offer. I'm going to have it set appointments for me and see how it goes. And if I can get to work for myself, I'm going to offer it to some clients for free, go through beta access. It's super easy to set up. I use Go High Level with all my clients. So it only makes sense that I have a setter that works directly into Go High Level.
Very interesting. And I noticed, I'm going to go a little bit into your background. I noticed on the website you've got a lot of pictures where you've got some really nice cameras. You look pretty dialed in on the camera and video side. Is that something you've been doing for a while, even before the agency? Is that really what kind of sparked your interest here, or is that something you picked up after?
Yeah. So I mean, as crazy as it sounds, I actually went to school for exercise science, graduated over COVID, and then took an free unpaid internship in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm going a long story, but I'm gonna get there.
Yeah, take your time.
But,
you got all the time.
Went to Milwaukee, Wisconsin to be a strength coach. I ran into my two bosses, Josh Rolls and Brooks Braga. Got to shout them out. I pretty much shout them out anytime I talk about my start. But they introduced me to Russell Brunson, to Alex Ramosi, and pretty much moved me into a social media manager role and then into marketing. Started making campaigns, learned Facebook, learned Google ads. This world didn't exist to me. I never would have even known it. I remember them showing me telling me what Facebook ads were. And I'm like, I didn't even know Facebook had ads. And this was 2021. It wasn't even that long ago. And right when I figured that out, and I started learning more and more about it, I was like, oh, I love this. This is fun. I never read a book all college. I was that guy. And I found out Russell Brunson had a book and .com secrets, went through that, then expert in traffic, and I loved him. And then Hermosi's book came out, offers and leads. I just came into a book for marketing stuff. That was really cool. I had never touched a camera until I started using the one at the gym in 2021. Didn't know how to figure it out. I used my phone. And then when I launched this, I bought a camera I have to learn. And so now I just call my buddies that know how to work cameras and have them explain what I got to do. And then that's how it goes. But no, at this point, I'm all in on cameras. I love them.
Yeah, there's some crazy high-tech stuff. Definitely a learning curve. I've been running my agency for 16 years. Those first few years, I know exactly what you're talking about. We used to call it staying one step ahead of the spider. You got to learn and implement at the speed of, it sounds like you've embraced that, which is awesome.
It was totally by accident, but I'm starting to feel like it was the path set out in front of me. I'm super appreciative and grateful. It was an unpaid internship in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm like, that seems like a horrible idea. And for some reason, I want it. I have no idea.
And it was life.
No idea what convinced me. Now I got two cameras that I know how to work.
I love it. Do you work with any other strength and conditioning places? Do you have any clients now?
Yeah, my first client when I moved back home, I knew how to make gym content, so I only reached out to gyms. I reached out to a place on the road, asked if I could do a free video day for them, did it. And now I've been working with them for 13 months.
Nice. Is that your main customer acquisition strategy? Bring up something for free?
Yeah, as far as clients I've got outside of referrals, maybe honestly not a whole lot. I'm kind of selective on who I take as far as just like my time because I don't want to like not be servicing the people that are already paying me. That would be insane. I really don't have a main acquisition channel at the moment. I just started doing a cold email sequence with, you ever heard of ListKit? I'm not sure. They're a cold email software. Bought their package, started doing that. If I see a business I want to work with locally, I'll reach out to them. I'll send them a video of kind of some things I think they could work on, some things I'd like to implement, and offer a meeting. If you're walking around at an event like the bridal bar or for the bridal show, and you have a camera in your hand,
Mm-hmm.
and you walk up to business owners, they usually need something from you as far as like they need some type of video, they need a commercial shot. And the amount of people like where I just start out as like I'm just shooting your commercial. It's like, well, hey, what if we, had leads sent directly to you from Facebook opposed to your commercial? And we just let them compete against each other. And then that's kind of how I upsell into my web development or lead nurturing or lead generating stuff.
I love that. You're ready to offer value right from the beginning to get conversation.
Yeah.
Do you do most of your web development through Go High Level then?
Yeah, originally I was just on Squarespace. I'm not a big web developer. I don't do everything I have to have is plug and play, but I love building websites for businesses. I like seeing what other people have out there. Most websites I see are full of clutter, hard to navigate, and it's just not clear on what they do, how I can get to where I need to get. And so I kind of like going the opposite way with that and simplifying things down, but also like just show what you do to like it should say, in my opinion, websites should say who you service, how you service, and then just so much proof that you've serviced people in the past that it's just it doesn't make sense for you not to sign up with them or get on a call.
100%. That's the Hormozy in you.
Yeah, 100%. I knew him and Russell Brunson from the beginning, so everything I do reflects that.
It makes
results. That's why in the beginning of my business, it was like, I just need free videos because I need to have something to show. I did something for someone.
That's how you get off the ground. Many businesses get caught up. They want to sound fancy or they want to, they want to be a little quirky, like whatever it is, quirky, fancy, more professional, bigger than we really are, that they just lose the messaging on their website is just soup. It doesn't land with anybody. It doesn't really say what they do.
Who's ever sold on an about page? I'll never buy a product because how good their about page is or their like service page maybe, but like it needs to be a one pager until they end up buying or booking a call. I try to do the same with all the websites that I build, especially for my stuff. I don't know if you had a chance to look at my website, but it's pretty basic. I mean, meta ads can be as complicated as you want to be. I've learned the hard way that most people don't understand what meta ads are. So if you go into it acting like they do, they're not going to buy from you or want to work with you.
You can't let that feature brain creep on and they just start asking questions and they don't really know what you're talking about. And then all of a sudden, all the three-letter acronyms start coming out and like nobody knows what's going on.
That's how you end up on a 3-hour sales call.
Keeping it to results. These are the results I can get you. That's the way. Meta has been, over the last few years, there's been some controversies here and there. There's been some algorithm shifts here and there, both on their organic side and on their paid side. Have you seen anything on the Meta side where you're like, wow, businesses really need to be focusing on XYZ in the future because this is something that Meta is going to reward? Any strategies on the Meta side that you see that are working now and you think businesses should be paying attention to?
Yeah, when I first started Meta Ad around 2021, there was the update where cookies couldn't be tracked or whatever. I think it was late 2020. And I remember my boss making a big deal about that, and I had no idea what he was talking about. And then I realized, and so like I never got to see how good ads were before that. Yeah, he was like, oh man, this is not going to be good. I remember he was panicking. At that point, it was Facebook ads. Over that period, nothing made sense until I had a really good ad with a good landing page and a really good sales process. And we cash collected, I think, $12K in like 2 weeks. And that was like, it was a good, that was reoccurring revenue, a good deal for us. And I was like, oh shoot, I get it. Now, every time I kind of set something up, it's just following that kind of framework where it's like, how can we, now with local lead gen, how I talked about, the sales process is the sales process. I don't have that control. We're working on that. How can I get people to click through to their landing page or to their form. I got to generate a bunch of creative. Hence the reason why I take the camera into my hands. I don't have my clients send me content. I try to make it a done for you service. I want to generate content at will as much as possible, going from there. But then also going in scripting videos. I think if you're going to make ads, have people in them. But then if you're going to have, graphic ads, I think there's also, I've got results from just a basic ad that says Fort Wayne, Indiana, parents or athletes looking to develop their speed. Click link below and learn about our speed development program. That does well too, as well as before and after videos. A video breaking down what the graphic ad says. Those do well too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just going to be different for everyone's clientele. Kind of like, what do they need to see? Go through as many reps of ads as possible. You're never just going to run 3 ads and be done. You do need to actually be testing them out. And I think that's kind of a funny realization that my clients have when they're like, so what do you do after the campaign's launch? The real work starts now. I have to make a bunch of videos all the time. I bring on other video people and people to help with editing, graphic design, because the ad accounts need it. Yeah. It's like watering a plant. You have to keep up the process. The goal is to get more people to click. Now, don't get me wrong. There is kind of a time where it's like, let's shift our focus to the landing page because people are clicking. It's happening.
Right.
But nobody's booking an appointment. Nobody's filling out a form.
Right. Then you know where it's broken. It's like, okay.
Yeah. And then we kind of know.
Landing page in the middle.
Yep. The amount of times I've had to explain to a client, like, just because we set up a campaign and the campaign isn't working. It might not be the actual images, the videos. It's likely it's not that. Just based off what our budget is. People are clicking it. It's probably the sales process. It's probably the landing page, or, it's likely the offer. Honestly, most times local businesses just don't offer something really good or attractive. I had a restaurant client and they pretty much I tried to help brainstorm an offer with them. And I remember it was $5 off an entree. That being said, we got people through the door, actually seeing people click their Facebook ad, walk in with a coupon, ready to buy. But yeah, and same thing happened with a used car place. Somebody actually clicked, filled out the form, they called them, booked them in, and they sold a 2014 Santa Fe. Kind of a weird, I think it was, not that they didn't think it was going to work, but I think it was just like, oh, snap. We spent $400 and got a sale.
Yeah. For companies that have never done it before, and especially Facebook, so direct response, right? It's like, boom, they're reaching right out to you and you turn that money directly into revenue. I do think for companies that haven't done that before, they're like, whoa, what just happened here? Let me check this out more.
Also being able to be agile too. Like, how quickly can we flop out? All right, hey, the offer isn't working. Let's get something else in there. Are we capable of doing that? Are we capable of giving up something on the front end to make more money on the back end? I think a lot of businesses probably struggle with that, but I can't blame them. I don't know exactly what their financial issues are or what their past has been like, but that is a hard hump to get over with a lot of businesses.
And I wanted to ask you, when you were planning out the ads, you mentioned how this type of video ad, when you have a new campaign with a client, do you have kind of like, these are the first 20 ads I'm going to start with, or do you start fresh depending on their offer? I know a lot of testing is involved. Do you start with a blank slate every time?
I usually have a ballpark idea. Ballpark. That's what happens when you have a one-man team. You don't have anything written down. But it's pretty much, I like to have something that shows social proof, obviously. I like to have something that shows the results. And then there's just going to be like a handful of miscellaneous reels where, for example, a furniture store. It is the best performing ad right now for their lead gen campaign is a drone shot with 5% off or an additional 5% off. Best performing, $16 cost per lead, $5 cost per lead, $3 cost per lead. And that's the $3 cost per lead ad. And it's just killing it. And it's like, all right, I spent way more time on the graphics. They look nice, show off more merch. The videos, we spent all this time actually editing and creating, where this was just like a miscellaneous B-roll clip that I was like, all right, just throw the graphic, because I wanted to get volume. It's not the sexiest ad, but you can't tell me it doesn't work until it doesn't work.
That's right.
It has to be tested. Unfortunately, that's the case. Sometimes it does bad, sometimes it doesn't. But like I said, now we know. Most people probably wouldn't think that was the sexiest looking ad or sexiest looking video, but here it is, bringing like potential customers to the door. It's a week old, and I'm pretty pumped about it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Sometimes it's just serendipity, right? Like something weird happens, you end up putting out an ad and you don't know why that's the one that hits. Do you get pushback on clients sometimes where they're like, come on, this is what are we doing this little B-roll ad for? Like, are there
Yeah.
clients who are like, no, this isn't good enough, or I know this won't work when it has to be tested?
At the end of the day, it's their ad spend being spent.
Of
But
course.
I do try to go out of my way and be like, hey, I would be doing you a disservice if me, the professional who you pay to advise you on this stuff and to do this, didn't say, listen to me. And then if after that you don't want to, it's like, I'm not gonna, you do what you want to do.
Your business.
But, and I'm the first person to be like, I didn't think that was gonna work. That worked. All I want is it to work. If they have ideas, I'm the first to be like, let's test it. I don't know if it doesn't work. There is pushback. And at the end of the day, it's like, do you really think I'm trying to hurt your business? No, I'm doing this to help your business.
Yeah.
And
I
that's,
think it's hard, right? People go in thinking they have an idea of what's going to work
mm-hmm.
beforehand. I know for me, before I got into testing, I thought I knew what would work. It would be like this. And then you run it and you're like, I was so wrong. Yeah.
I was talking about my two bosses, and one of them, Josh, I mean, the amount of times where I was like, I think we should do this. And he was like, why? And I'm like, I got no idea. And he was like, you do have to have like some thought process behind this, but as also like, there isn't like, you do just have to want to test it. It might do bad, it might not, but
Right.
you can't just cross something off because you think it might not work. It's like,
Yep.
just show me the results and we'll make a decision. It took me a long time to realize how much that mattered. Once I started managing ad accounts on my own, I was like, I get it now. I understand it. I probably should have shot him a text, let him know that, hey, you were right. But no, I think everybody probably starts out that way. There's no other ad platform like TV, radio, where you can put an idea up and see if it worked or failed. Like exactly, like nobody clicked on it. Nobody bought from it. Cool. That was a fail. Before it was just, hey, we ran a TV commercial. Now we don't. Some people mentioned it on their way in, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, 100%. With new media, you can test and iterate so much. I heard a story. You're familiar with Tim Ferriss?
I've heard the name, but I can't put a face to him.
He's kind of the generation before Hormozy, right? So Tim, he's got a huge podcast. He became famous when he wrote a book called The 4 Hour Work Week.
Okay. I've heard of that.
So that's Tim. It's really about 10xing your productivity, less than actually trying to work 4 hours a week. He tested the book titles with Google ads. Facebook wasn't a thing yet. He ran Google ads with 4 or 5 titles. The one that got the most clicks was the title of the book, and it exploded, And in a way, not that he regrets it, it's built him quite a career, but he does say he's like, people think I'm kind of like scammy because of that title. And that's when he's like, no, it's really more about 10xing your productivity. I wasn't trying to say, oh, you're only going to work 4 hours a week. I'm not saying I only work
Mm-hmm.
4 hours a week, but the headline hit a chord with people, and he knew it because of running those tests on the Google ads.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I think Hormozy did the same thing with leads, like his Facebook stories, voting on that. But Google Ads probably got way bigger of an audience.
Yeah, it was honestly, I don't think social media advertising was a thing when a book came out in 2005. Shortly after Google ads, I don't think Facebook was doing advertising.
Zuckerberg was about to launch it.
It's amazing how fast things change. I do want to ask about Creative Tone Media and the change you're seeing coming. What's your plan over the next 12 to 18 months for the agency?
Honestly, probably too many ideas. I'm kind of a shiny object guy. Is not a good thing when you're all by yourself because you'll just do it and
Yep.
you'll be stuck. But I kind of want to move down the acquisition channels of, hosting events where I show people what I do, how they can implement it. If people want it done for them, I offer it. I'm starting kind of like the presentation of that. Been going back over my Russell Brunson stuff, just making sure I can actually present in front of a crowd and have a good offer in front of a crowd. It's sell one to many. But the other thing was also just kind of building a community because right now I'm the business at this moment. I have some people I, have helped me out with some other things, video, graphics, stuff like that. But I do kind of want to like take advantage of that to build a personal brand and use that to fuel it. Is that the smartest thing if I'm looking to sell it? Probably not. But unfortunately, right now, that's just kind of like where I believe that that's the best next step. It's just kind of building up some type of personal brand for people to buy from, opposed to just Creative Tone Media.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing, honestly, was just I got really excited about this AI appointment setter. So I really like moving forward with something like that. And I want to see how I can actually run ads, or I guess set proper appointments for my clients. So I'm going to test on myself too. I would say that's probably the most recent test I'm running.
So it sounds like you're deep in Meta and branching out into additional services, additional products, having the appointment setter. Throwing it that way. And then also a personal brand, which I think is really cool. Are you thinking
Sure.
that you will be doing some hiring in the next 12 to 18 months? Are you looking to build a team out behind you, or what's your plan there?
Yeah, the idea is to hire. I've tried some VAs, but for somebody who's never hired before, also when I first started, I was like, it'll just always be me. And now I get why people hire. I don't know better than anybody. I think I definitely do. Now, who I hire, I'm not necessarily sure. I have some video people that help out. Is an account manager, is a media buyer. I'm not necessarily sure. I'm cool doing the media buying and the client facing stuff. Who do I come across first and how? That's kind of where I'm learning because, like I said, never done that before. So it is a skill I have to learn. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm in too huge of a rush to hire anyone full time at the moment, just because I'm probably not managing my time very well. Once I feel like I have it managed well and I'm reaching capacity, that would be a good point to move forward. Until then, I'm just going to use that as a crutch. I can't allow that.
I think you're looking at it the right way. Figure out where your zone of genius is. It could be both account management and client management and on the media buying side. You'll figure out which one you want to do more,
Yeah.
and then wait to hire until you really find that right person, it's a good fit and you're good there. It's a growth process. It happens over time. Years ago, it was actually a coach that we had helping us grow the agency, and he had us go through I forget exactly how he phrased it, but I did time track for 2 weeks, and all day long, I tracked exactly what I was doing. It was eye-opening. That could be a helpful exercise if you have the stomach for it.
I for sure need to do it. The amount of like miscellaneous things I've tried to like manage my time or at least track what the hell I'm doing.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. I've never been diagnosed with ADHD, but there's no way I don't got it
Lots of
because I'm
entrepreneurs do.
all
Oh yeah, lots of entrepreneurs do for sure. It can be a
yeah.
superpower, so it's good too. No,
Yeah, no, for real. You got 16 years of advice, I'm sure. I'd love to hear what that first hire looks like. I've done my best to look at some books. A lot of them are too high level for me that I got halfway through and I'm like, oh shoot, this is not for someone like me at all. But I'm always open to advice on that.
yeah, for sure. We can chat offline about that. I'll tell you the good things and my horror stories too. Won't hide it. It's definitely been a roller coaster ride. I
Cool.
want to respect your time. We're coming towards the end. Just got a couple questions for you, and then I do want to give you an opportunity to just send people to your social media accounts and things like that. So I'm just going to wrap up with a question. If we recorded this conversation a year from now, what do you hope would be different? What do you hope would be different about Creative Tone? It could be the kinds of clients, the number of clients, the type of work, whatever you think it might be.
Yeah, I would say I'm only working with full stack funnel clients. I'm
Now,
managing the ads, the website, their CRM. We set up their automations. We set up everything. Not only just because I feel like the actual relationships, like it's going to be better. I'm going to be so integrated in their business.
yep.
It's just not going to make sense for us not to be talking all the time. Or their account rep, I've already hired an account rep. I'm hoping within a year I have
Yep.
somebody with me. I think it's going to help increase the results. It just has to be that way. I think marketing's kind of moving that way. I don't know if the agencies died, but I think the agencies just become more of like this like powerhouse of like we aren't just a media buyer. We are full stack. You work with us or nothing, and we plug into businesses, for lead gen or whatever. We'll send our content team across the country to shoot everything for a week and come back. That's kind of where things move.
Nice. That's awesome. You're going to get there, man. I can feel it. It's happening. So before we wrap up, Tony, where do you want to send people? What's your social media? What's your website? Where can
Yeah,
people get in touch?
yeah. Just started doing marketing only social media ads with Tony on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Tony_Botone. Trying to post more on YouTube. Got all kinds of miscellaneous ads knowledge I feel like people might be searching for.
Yeah.
And then obviously my website is just creativetonemedia.com.
Love it. All right. I'll also include links to all of that stuff in the show notes. Tony, I appreciate your time today. Thanks for sharing your story and your expertise. We'll have to do it again sometime.
1,